second part in the painting tutorial of the Sigmar Priest from the Silver Tower kit. I assembled everything together except the head. I like to keep the head separated to have good access to do the head. And now I'm going to clean this. You see here the paint was rubbed off because it was not glued. So I will repair this here because I want to do now the wash on the cape. So I want to be sure that this is correctly placed, it's correctly painted. Now I don't have to touch anymore these parts. So I will clean up this. Well, here you see I forgot a little bit this part, so we are going to paint this part. Okay. Oh shit, I was the mistake there. Let's see if I can remove the red paint. Trick is to put some water, and then you see you can clean it. Okay, we are going to correct here some of the mistakes that I have. And the other part is I wanted to glue it before doing the highlights because I already did the shade, but you can see here at the back is very difficult to see what they are. It's good that I paint the armor because it's a little bit visible. It will be impossible to paint it once is everything glued together. But no, yeah, there's no need to do all the detail there because it's completely covered, so it makes no sense to invest a lot of time in that part. So what I do is I'm cleaning now the cloak have the red all in the right position, so I will keep doing that, cleaning up. You see I go next to the gold and I clean that the gold is there's some gold out of the linings because these linings were quite thin, so I make sure that I clean these parts and I also avoid any white and that the white is visible in any of these points. Okay. The cape is one of the most important parts of the miniature, so you want really to have a good finishing here. Although it's the back, it's covering a lot of the miniature. Okay. Okay, so let's do now this thing that is hanging at the back, and I will use a screaming skull to do these things. Okay, so just I will apply this. So I will do that carefully, not to go into the cape. And once this is done, I will come back. So I have finalized the work with the bone color, and now we are going to apply Seraphim Sepia on these parts. Okay, will take. We're going to apply Seraphim Sepia here. You see that all the letters really pop up very fast. I'm going to apply it as well here, and we can apply it on the gold. Okay, and now we wait until this dries. So now the Seraphim Sepia have dried, and we're going to apply Agath Air Shade on the red to do the shade and to add some shade on the cape. I find the Agath Air Shade works better for me than Nun Oil on the red. So we are going to apply this on the cape, and be careful because this will, the Agath Air Shade will leak down to the bottom of the cape. So most likely you have to be careful that it's not accumulating too much here at the bottom, just on top of the gold, because it will accumulate in that area. You can see I go on top of the linings. You don't need to be precise here. For example, I put a little bit too much, because I want also going on top of the linings. What we'll do is we'll make the lining, I will create a small shade around the lining and improve the definition of the linings. So here we also put, I avoid to go on top of the cream color of the, well, yeah, of these things, of these ribbons there. Okay, I apply here, and I will apply on the other side here. Okay, we want to avoid this, for example, and it's just a little bit. These recesses are quite big, so maybe the ink will not work perfectly. What I want to do is darken the red and really increase make this special this type of dark line between the cream color and the red. So we're going to leave the miniature like that to avoid that everything is pulling down. Okay, and you don't want to the wash to, you want the wash to go into the recesses. So I will leave the miniature like that, and I will come back once the miniatures have dried. So now we have the miniature ready to start. Yeah, I have to do another wash here, but I will start doing some highlights to do something different, to change a little bit, and I will start working on the cloth. The cloth I will use, I will really use my wet palette for that, because I want to have some smooth transitions, and we are going to use the Screaming. So let me put it here. I will put some white. Okay. And I will use a Screaming School. Put it in my wet palette. Now we can start working into the highlight. I will start with white. Take a more detailed brush. Okay, and I will start working on that. So you really want to go almost everything white. I will use just the Screaming Skull to clean up this part that this white that just went a little bit too far from the gold. So I will do let's do the next. I will do the top and then the bottom. We're going to be done doing the same process. So I will mix a little bit because if not the transition is too stark. Okay, and I will apply this here. So you really want the white to be the dominant color. So at the end I want this to be white, not to be cream. Okay, and then we do this part here. Okay, and then here on the bell I use first the Screaming Skull to clean if it's a little bit dirt because of the wash from the gold. Then here we do this here. Okay, I guess you know you see what is here the point is really go white and just leave a little bit of the cream color for the shades. Okay, so I will do the same at the bottom, and at the same time I will do also the highlight on these skulls here. So the white is done, and now the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to apply regular flesh shade on the gold, because this is a part of the cloak that I did not put this here in the back. Okay, this will help to start popping up the small runes that we have here in this golden part, and I will mainly apply this on this bottom part. I will not do it on the linings. Okay, as you can see that as we go through with the wash, the runes are popping up. Okay, we eliminate a little bit the excess of this not, and then we can go a little bit to the borders. This is very reddish, so we'll not do a mismatch on the red, and we'll do a nice work. Okay, we do that here, and then in the other parts of the gold we did it before, and now we wait until this dry before doing the next step. So this is how it looks like once the wash have dry, and now I'm going to use Retributor Armor and Auric Armor Gold to highlight the gold parts. Okay, so I have here both colors. Auric Armor Gold and Retributor Armor. And we are going to proceed to highlight the gold bars. So for example here, we'll start applying this. Here for example, we're going to do the linings. We want to use a detail brush because we need precision in that stage. Normally metallics are quite tricky to have because the way they flow is different than the other paints. We just highlight the comets. We use a little bit of fabric and then and here. Okay, and the back, for example, the back of the book, I'm going to also highlight a little bit. This part, we want to do the borders. Vale. Sorry for the background noise. My son just arrived. He's messing up with the toys. So here you see I am playing now Retributor Armor. So sorry for the background noise of my son. So I will use here Auric Armor Gold. Then I use Retributor Armor. We want that the gold is popping out. I will not do the part in the middle of the hammer because I'm going to make a glowing on the rune that we have there in the middle. Okay. But that I want also to put a little bit is here. Now I'm going to clean up this part. So I'm going to apply first here. And we're going to make the linings brighter. So we apply here. We are going to go into the runes. We keep the shade. So something like that. Need to put here more. Okay. I'm just applying the moment retributor armor. That was the color that was the base color before doing the wash. Okay. Once retributor armor is applied, I go with Auric Armor Gold. Here we are missing one of the runes was not well marked, so when this happens, it will come now with yeah, we can use, I will use again Reglan Flesh. I don't want to look super dark. And I will put a little bit more, but just here in this rune here to make it show. We have to wait until this dries. Okay, so sometimes you have to go back to some of the runes after doing the first wash because it did not catch, they don't catch well. And the linings, you have to be careful not to go. You have to be careful not to go into the claw and just touch the linings. In some cases we will need to do some inner blades, and of course we are going to highlight these ones as well. Highlight this. We have the these ones were covered, the ones that are at the back of the robes, or the clothes, sorry. Here we do this part. So this is more or less, and now, yeah, we need to clean up a little bit more, but I want to do first the highlight on the red to see how all the is looking like, and then to do the cleanup later. So on the red, I will start reapplying corn red together with, okay, the corn red was the base color, so I will use this color, and I will use Mephiston red. What is the Mephiston red? Okay, and the next I'm going to use is Wild Rider red. Okay, so we are going to work now with these three colors, and if we need more highlight I will come later. So first I want to really see how just with this color is looking like. I want to go for quite a lighter red. It becomes a little bit too dark what I have here. I want to have lighter red than what we have here, so I'm applying now Mephiston red Really quite straightforward. Okay, and then I will use Conrad just in the transition. Then here, for example, I will apply in the edge the Wild Rider red. Here in the gem, I will do this later on because I will paint this like a gem. So here I apply now Conrad, Wild Rider red, okay, and then I apply the orange. The same here. The capes I will go fold by fold on the cape. I'll apply it here. Okay, I'm applying first Conrad. We apply Conrad, then I apply a Fiston red, okay, and then on top I will apply Wild Rider red, okay. We'll do another one. Okay. First I apply Conrad. My Fiston red, no. And now I will apply Wild Rider red. Okay, so I will keep doing that. It's going to be repetition of more on each fold. And the other thing you want is that the orange, yeah. So it's good that it's mixed because now it's like blending and it's smoothing a little bit. So I will keep doing that on all the red. I will keep highlighting the red as you have seen here, and I will come back once this is done. So this is how it looks like now that I did all the different folds. And what I'm doing now is I'm applying 12 Slayer orange. Okay. And I'm applying this just on the top of the, here for example, in the part that I expect that the light is touching. Just to give an extra highlight. And then on this fold I'm using first, this is just with the okay. So just a little bit, and then we are going to add some spots here at the back, for example here. Do it very thin. So here we take advantage that this orange can be quite transparent. Okay, to almost make it not noticeable. Okay. Here for example, this is a good spot to put it a little bit. because the default is looking up. Okay, that's all. So this is the red is done, and now I'm going to start working on the skin. And while I'm working on the skin, I will also work on the head, because then we can work the skin and we can glue the head to the rest of the body. So here I have the head, and I will start with the eyes as usual when I'm doing the skin. So the eyes are really dark at this moment, so I'm going to apply the white. Okay, I'm going to apply the white. This is when I'm pissed off because the brush have this small change. Okay, this is too big, definitely too big, and I did not run correctly. And then okay, no problem, we are going to solve this. Now I'm going to take black. Okay, and with black, first I will do one, I'm going to make this thinner now. Okay, and we will need to work the other eye. I'm not convinced how it's looking like. So I again remove all. And I think now it's better. And we are ready to start highlighting. So first I will start with Reader's High. Okay, I will start highlighting here. And I'm going to use more dark brown as the first highlight. And to do that, I will use a white palette to help on the mixing. Because we want to make soft transitions. Put this on my brush, then I take water and I thin this down a little bit. Okay. And we are ready to keep working on the face. So I always like to start with the nose to see how the new color is contrasting. See that it's quite a strong contrast. This is a more from brown light directly. Okay, then so here. Normally this is the part that can be more difficult to do. We want some soft transition. As you can see, the Morphin brown is really working well. The point is to use it quite thin, so in order that you can work, you can use the transparency of the paint to make the transition softer. Want to keep the skin pretty dark. Okay, let's start painting the musculature. So let's start with here. We take the muscle, we apply this on the muscle, and then we mix it with the Reynolds height. Kind of here. Let's do this part here. Okay, here I'm going to apply first a mixture. You can see that we are building up more and more contrast. Okay. By playing a little bit, let's add more of more. I will put now the fast camera and you can see how I keep working on the flame. Finalize the hand and other parts, and I will come back once this is done with the next step. So this goes working on the skin, and I want to increase a little bit the contrast, make some brights in some points, and I will use Vestiger Flesh, what is almost an aqua color. I mix it with the Morphin Brown to make a lighter brown, okay? And with that we are going to pinpoint just some areas to make like bright points. Right, we are going to, for example, not too much, it's just to make the musculature to pop up a little bit more. You just want not to put too much of this. And if it's too much, we go straight forward with Morphin Brown and we smoothen. Okay. Here we are going to add a little bit. Okay. And I think the skin though is looking quite natural, quite nice. Smoothen this just final touch that I did. And the skin is done at this point. So let's work on the book next. And on the book I want to do two things. I want to add some writing, and I will add here like glowing runes or glowing symbol. So let's make, for example, here we start with like a capital letter. I'm using the Rhinos height. Then we start adding and thought here something more. Okay. Now I'm going to use blues. This is one of the advantages of the wet palette, that you put it in your wet palette. And we can make an arcane symbol. So what I do is I search in internet a symbol that I want to use. Okay, let's see if I will try to reproduce it here. This paint is too thick. And if it's not perfect, I don't think it's going to be that important. Now we are going to make other symbols around this. So we can make, for example, something like that. I'm going to make this circle. So. I will use lighter blue. It's going to be quite difficult to do more things here. What I can do is we can thin a little bit these lines. Yeah. I'm going to do one thing first. Now I will use swimming school. So what I'm doing is with the skewness school, I'm trying to make the lines, the blue lines thinner by painting next to them. And also these ones here I wanted to have okay. No, it's more. Lines are cleaner and thinner. Okay, I'm going to also to do the same here. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add text. Some points over here. Okay. I'm going to add also a little bit of text here. So this, everybody can do what he wants on this book, to be fair. Just try to do something. I wanted to do some mystical. I'm not very happy, to be fair. How it's looking like right now. You can do is I just eliminate part of the room. We'll eliminate this. It looks too crowded here. Once this is dry, we can work there. Okay, in the meantime, while this is dry, I'm going to paint the rune here inside. So I will do a little bit of glowing on the hammer, and I will go inside of the rune and apply Bahar Blue. Okay, I will apply this inside. As well here. Okay. Now with gold, with Retributor armor, we are going to clean up. can do now to increase the illusion of glowing. Don't want to go too much, that I don't want to put all the hammer in blue, just the rune. I'm going to apply a little bit of white. Okay. Okay. I think this is good enough. Now on the book, this should have dry. We are going to put here the text now. And I think now it's better. Okay, I will okay. Yeah, that's all for this. So now we are going to work on the black. The black I will go for something quite straightforward. First I will use a stone vermin fur to do the first highlight. Okay, here I see that I wrap a little bit the paint because of this part, so we are going to apply this on the part that I think are more exposed. Okay. Looks quite stark at the beginning. I'll do also these small things here. We are just highlighting the part that we want to. And here is just the shoes, so I don't want to go too bright. Normally the shoes should not be the important part of the miniature. Especially not in that one. The thing that we need this is really we need to separate here this thing from the skin. Okay. I will use black. No, I will use black. This is almost place of black. This was too thin it. Here it is. I will use black next to this. And we are going to mix a little bit of the grey with the black. And we are going to have intermediate color, especially in these bars where the change can look a little bit too strong. Okay. Here is to match. Now it's better. Here I'm going with black. You see that the stone vermin fur looks much lighter when it's wet than when it dries. Okay. Stop right here. This will help to make the illusion better. So to be fair, I don't want to make the boots too shiny. Taking no downstone away, and with that we are going to do the last highlight. Okay. These are just the boots. I don't think we need to put excessive attention to that. Let's go to finalize the metallics and the gold. So to do that, I will use one of the bright new golds from Games Workshop. Sorry, gold, I mean silver. I'm going to use the Stormhost silver. And I'm going to have prepared, sorry for the noise, Auric Armor Gold. Why? Because I'm going to use this silver to highlight as well the gold parts, to do the last highlight on the gold parts. Remember that we did the first highlight with Auric Armor Gold before, and now we are going to apply the Stormhost silver. But you can see now I'm putting some of this silver on the small hammer. And I'm going to do the same here. So this has to have clean silver here. that. The rivet is going to be quite a delicate step. Okay. Let's clean up this and this. These small things here. Okay. And then here, for example, in some areas I forgot to put the auric armor gold. I will do it now. We will need to maybe clean a little bit this later on. Okay. But with the silver we are going also to highlight a little bit more the gold. So for example these rivets here. Okay, and then on this I'm going to apply it on the half side, half upper side, and then I go with auric armor gold on top of it. Okay. The same here on these small hammers. We'll apply a little bit. Here it was so little that doesn't need. On the comet. Then on the linings, of course, we are going to do some highlight. We are going to highlight these comets here. Now I will use auric armor gold to do this. And the small hammer. Here on the book. I'm applying stone horse, yes, on the borders. I was thinking if I will do it on the bottom, I will just do this bar. And this thing. You can see I make a small mistake there, so I will use Retributor armor to correct it. Just a little bit of. You have a small mistake. I'm using now here a little bit of what's called this XV88. Okay. So I will keep doing that, and we are going to do the same in the cape. So in the cape, we are going to play, for example, here a little bit, and then with the auricaramol gold. Then again, we take a little bit of this here and here and here, and we are going to put a little bit on the linings. So I will get as we did on the front, and I will come back once it is done. So as you can see, I glued now the head. The gold is done. It's quite shiny. It's what here I will clean up a little bit. You see that. And the next step is we are going to work on the gem in the middle. Okay, so just give me a minute to clean up this. It's too bright, and I prefer to put a little bit of gold. Now it's better. Okay, so we are going to work on the gem now, and we are going to make it look like a glass gem. So I will start with brown, Reynolds Height, it's the color. Okay, so very dark brown, and we are going to apply this on the upper part of the gem. So let's use it in this part. We can use black as well if you want, but I think with red, brown is working quite well, and we'll give this dark color. Okay, put too much water. Okay. Then I'm going to use corn red. On the lower part. I'm going to mix a little bit. Here. I'm going to go a little bit higher here. And lower in that side. Okay, and then you have to wait to do what I did here. Shit. Okay, I will wait until this dries and I will come back. Okay, the previous layers have dried and I correct a little bit the mistakes that I did. I'm going to use now Mephiston Red. We keep working on the bottom part of the, so in this side of the gem. We'll use a little bit more of corn red on the brown part. We're going to make the brown part a little bit smaller. Okay. I'm going to use now Fire Slayer Orange. Here in the bottom. And now I use red to go on top. Okay, something like that. Having a little bit of like glow, or very light on the bottom. Okay, something like that. And now, this is a big gem. I'm going to use white now. I'm going to use this one, and then there's a small one here, something like that. We are going to put some gloss varnish later on. Okay, so this house looks like, and this is almost, the miniature is almost finished at this stage. Now it's just a little bit of cleanup and fine-tuning some of the parts. So we'll take now the Baneblade brown, that is the color that we use. The brown, let me close first all the pots. So I'm going to use a little bit of Baneblade brown. I'm going to apply it here. Just to make this pop up a little bit. Okay. And then I will use this one, Scott Brown, sorry. Here. To do something like that, and now we let it dry and we put a little bit of, again, of wash of iron shade. Okay, so this will finalize the work on this guy. Okay, now we have finalized now the work on the Excelsior Priest. Here we have, and I will explain next how I will do the, so here we have the guy, sorry, it was here, we finished here the Excelsior Priest. And in the next video or in the next tutorial I will explain how to do his companion, the Griffhound. So I hope you find this tutorial interesting. Please let me know what do you think in the comments below. Let me know if you have any other question, or if there is anything that you would like to see done different. I'm open to any type of comment, as far as it helped me to improve. As usual, like if you have liked it, subscribe, share, and you also can support me if you want in Patreon. If you consider that my work deserves some patronage, I have a Patreon account where you can support my channel. That's all for now. As usual, thanks a lot for watching and see you again later. Bye.